Yeah, g'day, FightView360 fans. It's your old mate, Big J, and today we're speaking to, once again, one of the most prominent super welterweights we've got in the country, Dennis Hurricane Hogan, who's up on the October 8th, up for the IBO Super Welterweight World title against Sam Eggington in Newcastle on a no-limit card. Dennis, you must be, welcome back to the channel, mate, and you must be chomping at the bit for this huge opportunity.
Yeah, I'm delighted to have this opportunity, and I'm even more so delighted that my fourth crack at a World Championship, I'm able to have it here on Australian shores. So very, very grateful for everyone who's done what they've done to get this fight here, and the rest is up to me now on fight night to go and win that fight. So.
Okay, so this is your fourth crack, so let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Let's go back and see what were your three cracks previously? Because I'm definitely know two. I'm not quite sure about the third one, though.
Oh, okay, right. Well, an interim WBA world title, and so, do you really count the interim or not? But at that point, Jack Culcay.
Yeah, I remember that fight. Yep, I remember that.
So it was pretty much said that the winner of that one would then be elevated to WBA regular championship and go on to fight someone prominent, which ended up being the middleweight WBO champion, Boo Andrade. So Jack Culcay got the win against me, and then he was elevated to WBA champion, and he went and then fought as the champion against Boo Andrade, in which he lost on a split decision. So.
Yeah, and then of course your next one was the highway robbery in Mexico against Jaime Munguia, which was, when was that? April of 2018? Is that correct?
April 2019.
2019. Okay, 2019. Yep. Just before the pandemic shut the whole world down. And then, of course, your last crack was against Jamal Charlo in December of the same year, was it?
That's right, yeah. Big year 2019,
yeah. 2019 and a 7-round knockout. But going 7 rounds with one of the brothers Charlo is nothing to be sneezed at. So...
Yeah, that's it. Won a few rounds too, but ultimately the power was just too great. He had some serious power.
Yeah. I mean, those twin Charlo boys don't muck around. So, but anyway,
no.
Yeah, the opportunity is at the 8th of October in Newcastle against Sam Eggington, who's the current IBO world champion, who I believe this is his first title defence, and he won the vacant title. I believe that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he beat a Polish fella 18-0 for the title there back in June. So at first I had heard that I was fighting for the right to fight for the title as a vacant title, and then after we won it, then it was a little while after then we had heard that there was two guys already fighting for them, that I would then fight the winner. So that's how it rolled out, and. It's much of a muchness anyway. It doesn't matter if this title's vacant or not. The fight still has to be won. So.
Yeah, I remember that because I remember them in commentary saying that the winner of yourself and Wade was going to be up for a shot at the vacant title. But it doesn't matter. It's worked out just fine. You're getting your shot anyway, so it's all good. So.
Yeah, that's right. It just made, obviously, with negotiations and a purse bid, it made things a little bit more difficult in order to get Eggington here, but it doesn't matter. We did it now, and we're ready to go. So
Sam Eggington, I don't know much about him, but the fact that I think he's a 28-year-old British fighter. That's all I know about him. Do you know much about this young fella besides obviously the study that you've been doing?
Yeah, look, he's British champion, Commonwealth champion, and a European EBU champion. So he's ticked all the boxes. Now he's gone off and he's won himself a world championship. So he's ticked all the boxes. He's won it all. There's no title he doesn't have. He also was a winner of a WBC silver title. So he's pretty prominent over there, and he's had some good wins. He's had a few losses too, but he's fought the best in those losses. He's fought Liam Smith and Bradley Skeed and those guys. He also has some good wins over some good fellas. So the likes of Frankie Gavin, who would have been prominent amateur when I was amateur back in the day, he pretty much retired him. So he's got some good wins, some good knockouts against some good boys as well. And I don't take anything for granted here. I do believe though that my style will beat his. But it's a great fight, and it's for all the marbles really. So
yeah, well, it's interesting that defending champions that come to Australia don't really do that well. I mean, I think I looked at, if they're an IBF, they're pretty much guaranteed to lose. IBO, I don't think we've had any travelling champions, but Beck Hawker just won the WIBA super featherweight title against a British girl whose name escapes me. So travelling champions coming to Australia don't do so well. So the odds are pretty much in your favour, mate. So you must be feeling pretty good about that.
Oh, look, it's just another thing, isn't it? It's just another thing. So at the end of the day, though, there's too many standing in the ring and we're going to go at it. So, yeah, look, I mean, there's all those types of things and everything else, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I know that I've got a real opponent on my hands here. And I've got to go out there and do the business. And my training is replicating that. So either way, I'll be ready.
So on October 8th, there's going to be 20 fights. Do you know where you're going to be sitting on that card? I know that there's going to be yourself, Nikita Tszyu, Sam Goodman's on the card, a few others, obviously. There's 20 fights, so there's quite a large show. Do you know you're going to be at the pointy end of the show, or are you going to be thrown into the mix?
Look, it's a good question. Everybody's asking it. It's either going to be me or Nikita Tszyu at the very, very end. But either way, I'd either be semi-main or else main event. And it was back and forward at the start. At first, you think of a 3-0 fighter. How could he main event that? But there's a couple of little things in the background there with Fox Sports and everything else, and at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me. Like many people in the sport would have an ego enough to think that they should be. And I mean, in terms of boxing, it doesn't matter how much of a bigger superstar Nikita Tszyu could be. At the end of the day, he's 3-0. So you would imagine that a world title fight would take precedent over that. But No Limit do things differently. I'm not signed to No Limit. And, they just might, have their fighter on very, very last. The whole fight card is being sold as Super Saturday. They're not calling it a card, Tszyu versus someone card or a Hogan versus someone card. They're calling it Super Saturday. So, the whole thing is about it being so many fights in so many hours. And that's really what the focus is all about. So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair that No Limit has done that. They've come out and said, it's a Super Saturday show, it's this, it's that. They're featuring, yourself, Sam Goodman, Nikita Tszyu, so everyone's getting a crack at the exposure, which is a great thing. But I wanted to talk to you about one fight that unfortunately slipped through No Limit's fingers, Ebony Bridges versus Shannon O'Connell. I mean, that's going to be a massive fight for Australian boxing. How do you feel like, it looks like Eddie might take that fight overseas. Do you feel that this fight deserves to be in Australia, considering that you are, someone that's been here for over a decade? You are an Irishman. You've lived here for about, 10, 15 years now? Is that right? Something like that?
Well, look, I look at that situation. I'm here 12 years. I look at that situation, right? And it's funny because I actually made the move to be more based in America because I was fighting over there quite a lot. I'd won an NABA. The NABA title. So I won a North American title in that, and then I sort of moved over to sort of be fighting over there more so, and then I was brought back here to fight. So then I was having training camps in America with the Cuban down in Miami, just to come back to Australia to fight. So I know how disruptive that was. It was a little bit disheartening. It was hard before I eventually made the move to come back here again, and then sort of be more based here and try and fly fighters in. So for Ebony Bridges, she's made the move to go over and live in England, and she's based herself there now. And so, so she's done all of that. For her to have to come back here, that's something that she's not going to want to do, and it's something that Eddie, because she's got a massive fan base in England, so I can see why she'd want to have it there. She'll have a massive crowd. She'll have all the crowd with her, and that's why she'd want to have it here. In terms of Australia wanting it, deserving it, look, Australia's producing great fighters at the minute, and overall I think that it's just going to keep getting better and better. It would be cool to see it here, but at the same time I wouldn't have any issues with with Ebony getting that fight over there after she made the move, and for Eddie Hearn to do whatever is best financially. Either way, he'll be able to get it on the box anyway. So if people really love that fight and they want to watch it and invest in it, then they have no problem paying a subscription to the Zone or to a pay-per-view to watch it. So.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's something I'd like to see live. So, I mean, that's, I'm getting the set. A lot of Australian fans are like, oh, why isn't it in Australia? It should be in Australia. It's two Australians. I mean, it would be like putting two Irishmen in America. Like, why would you do that? But anyway, I see where you're coming from. I mean, at the end of the day, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. So, yeah. So, if you are successful with getting this title, you'll join a long list of Australian fighters who have won IBO titles. I know that you're probably not focused on it, but do you have any future plans for it? I know that last time we talked, you wanted to have one more fight in Ireland back home. Would a defence obviously be on the cards back home?
Yeah, that might actually be one of the first things we want to do. So, Spike O'Sullivan, who I was actually planning on defending my title against in Ireland after the Munguia fight, but that didn't go to plan. So he actually called out the winner, myself and Sam. I'll go as far to tell you that Sam had actually said that if he was to defend it successfully against me, or if he if they'd have won the purse bids, they would have had Spike on the undercard ready to call out Eggington or myself. So that fight is there, ready to go with Spike, and we could make history, like I said, two Irish guys fight for a world championship. He's ready to go on that, and by all means, that's exactly what I want to do. Like you say, what makes dollars makes sense. So if we can make a few quid out of it, it's definitely on the cards. But we'll just have to look at it and see, take everything. But I'm up for it anyway, and I know Spike is.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The Spike Sullivan name, that name, we followed him on the channel. We've seen him fight before. So two Irish blokes fighting in Ireland for a world title. Well, what do you want? So, I mean, the Irish, when it comes to combat sports, are very passionate. It's not just all Conor McGregor and Katie Taylor. It's anyone. So, they're very similar to Australian fans. If there's someone having a crack, you boys jump on the bandwagon and away you go. So,
that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, pretty much they're pretty loyal. They're pretty loyal fans. So, and that's what we like to see. So, then it grows the sport of boxing.
Yes, that's it. Look, as well as that, though, I'll just say that Australia is in the best. Like, when I first came here, I always admired Australian boxing. The domestic scene, because we're so far away, we're kind of self-sufficient. We have our TV, and we got our fighters going and everything. But over the last 6 to 8 years, it's really just ramped up. And before it was, you had your Mundines and Gills and that. But now it's becoming a lot more, like you look at all the promoters here with No Limit, with Dean Lonergan, you've got Matchroom coming here. You have all this stuff, and you have all these great fighters. You've got your Australian amateur team that's producing champions. And I think Australian boxing is in a great place. And I'm so excited for Australian boxing to see everything happening the way it's happening, and for boxing in general. So I just wanted to say that it's looking great right now, all around.
Yeah, well, Australian boxing is having its most successful year on record. We've never won so many titles. We've never had so many title opportunities. We've had two undisputed title fights on home turf, which has never happened. Well, that hasn't happened when did Kostya fight old mate? 2003, so 20-something years. But an actual Australian fighting. So, What more can happen? And there's still, unfortunately, if Jai Bataille didn't break his jaw, he would have been fighting again by the end of the year, but unfortunately not. But we've still got Haney Kambosos 2 coming on October 16th. No Limit will probably squeeze in one, if not two shows before the end of the year. And if we're lucky, we might get another women's title fight. So, unfortunately, Tim Tszyu can't squeeze in before the end of the year, but he's going to kick off 2023 in a great way. So, if he gets that win, that'll be the best way to kick off 2023.
Yep.
Exactly. Sorry, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. I just said, all good. That's great. It's great for all that to be happening. So exciting times.
Oh yeah, absolutely exciting times. Who have you been, this is obviously an easy question, but who have you been most impressed over the last, say, 6 to 12 months? I know Jai Bataille's going to be way up there, but So what he did was phenomenal.
Yeah, look, it was that. It was that. When I watched that fight and I seen...
Were you there live, or did you watch it on the box?
No, I was going to, but then I just watched it at home in the end. I'm a bit funny. If I go and watch fights, I'll be looking up at the big screen anyway. I don't know what it is. So sometimes, obviously atmospheres are good and to go to support people, but if you want to watch a fight and really watch it, I think sometimes it's better to watch it at home. But
I don't disagree. I agree with that 100%. You can see more on the TV, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And again, the likes of myself, I appreciate all the support I get. But if I rock up to a fight night, sometimes I'll be more distracted chatting to people and stuff like that as well. So exactly. I really wanted to watch that fight and really study it. And I'll just tell you, from the first, 30 seconds, I couldn't believe the pace. Like, you had all those other people fighting on the undercard, all good fighters, great fighters, good fights. But this was just another level. I couldn't believe it. So, Joy Apatoya, I suppose for me, I just thought what he did was phenomenal. That guy, I don't know if Aussies really understand. I say that because I've only been hearing since that how good that guy really was. So he'd only lost to Usyk and he done well. So and for Joy to do what he did at the age he's at. And everything else, I just think it's phenomenal. So well done to Joy, and I'm a big fan. So.
Yeah, aren't we all? And we at the channel know how good Breedis is, and we were... I said on record, if he lasts more than 6 rounds and doesn't get his head taken off, it'll be a miracle. But he did that. He beat him clearly and still went with his jaw broken in 2 places, which was absolutely phenomenal. So
phenomenal stuff.
That's easy going to be upset of the year. I mean, I seriously doubt there's going to be another... There'd have to be an extremely good fight for someone to beat that for upset of the year. I think that's pretty much in the bag. So, and that's on an international scale. That's just not Australia. That's an international scale. So, yeah. And the thing was that a lot of people didn't pay attention to that fight. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, he'll just go down to Australia and he'll kill the kid and he'll come home. But no, as I said, champions traveling to Australia don't necessarily do that well. So, so... Well, anyway, mate, appreciate your time getting on the channel. We look forward to seeing you on October 8th in Newcastle. You've been there before, so obviously, you fought Tim Tszyu there before, so you'll have a bit of a following there, and hopefully the crowd gets way behind you. You can bring that title back to Australia, and hopefully you'll get your massive all-Irish fight with Spike Sullivan. So we really appreciate your time here, mate, and thank you for joining us again at FightView360.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, mate. Have a good one. Thank you.